Thanks, folks. It's good to be here. Here in New Zealand. Thanks for coming down. I love coming out here in New Zealand. I'm from a little town called Cripple Creek in Colorado, up there in the Rocky Mountains. It's a beautiful part of the world. Got a river that runs down through the valley there. Such a beautiful river. It's probably the most beautiful river you ought to know, probably in the whole valley. There's another river there. Phooey! It's the Phooey River. When I was telling my daddy I was coming out to New Zealand, he was like, "What's that, 2-3 days on the bus?" I said, "Well, you know, I'll be flying there." He's like, "You all fancy now, are you?" I'm like, "Well, is the ocean?" He's like, "The what?" My daddy doesn't know much about New Zealand. He thinks that kiwi fruits are the eggs laid by kiwis. He's never let a low level of intelligence get in the way of forming a strong opinion. You guys look at me, you probably think there's a country singer, there's a cowboy, there's maybe 1/5 of a Village People covers band. Truth is, things never got so bad that I have to pretend to be a guy who himself was pretending to be a cowboy back in the 70s. Well, you know, I'm assuming he was pretending to be a cowboy. I'm assuming all those guys were pretending to be those occupations. You know, a construction worker, a police officer, American Indian, professional leather wearer. What did that guy do? That'd be a pretty handy bunch of guys to have around if they were all those jobs. The roof blew off in the storm last night. Someone stole the TV and there's a buffalo loose in the backyard. And I got a brand new pair of leather pants and need breaking in. What the hell am I gonna do? Call the Village People, man. But it's good to be here. I've been going through a divorce back home in Cripple Creek with my ex-wife, Maureen. Hasn't been that pretty. But, you know, I guess we drifted apart and things. And I remember getting home from a gig pretty late one night, just towards the end of our marriage there. I remember I walked in and she was waiting up for me, and, you know, not the good waiting up. There wasn't a candle in sight. Just her sitting in the kitchen, fluorescent lights on, she's smoking cigarettes, all the cans of food around on the shelves. She used to work in the supermarket, she used to like sitting around like that. I walked in, she said, "What time you call this?" I said, 3:15. "What time do you call it?" She said, 45 minutes to 4. You can't argue with that. I tried to, though. I said, "Maybe it's 75 minutes past 2. We went on like that for about 135 minutes. Just saying the same time from different angles. Doesn't get any easier, man. But you know, as my daddy used to say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't marry your cousin. Ain't that the truth? Speaking of horses, when I'm away from home, you know, I have to get my Uncle Cletus to feed my horse, Andrew. Me and Andrew, we've got a, you know, complex relationship. Andrew kicked me in the head about 10 years ago over a minor disagreement over some hay. He got me right as I entered the barn one morning. Took me by surprise. The thing was, you know, there's just like a 2-foot gap between the doorway and the side of the barn. And that's where he was hiding. I don't know how familiar you are with horses, but it's not really enough room for a horse. I figured he must have been standing up on his hind legs there. You know, pushed right in the corner, head on the side. up on tippy hooves. I don't think he kicked me. I don't think he can, like, raise his hoof up that high from a standing position. I know for a fact a horse can't. I figured he must have just, like, jabbed me with his front hoof. Bang! Where's a horse learn how to do that? I mean, maybe it was like an opened hoof slap. I don't know. A back hoof. I went down. I didn't see it coming. I wrote a song about it at the time. This song is off my second album. Introducing Wilson Dixon. This song's called Pick on Someone Your Own Size, i.e. another horse. It goes like this. It's Sunday morning. I go down to the barn to feed the horse. I walk in with a bundle of hay and obviously it's a pretty short song. Yeah, we got a real psychological war going on, me and Andrew. Sometimes I go down to the barn and I'll saddle him up and I'll sit on him, but we won't go anywhere. He's like ready, you know, for hours. Are we going yet? Nope. We going now? Nope. What about now? Nope. Then just get off and walk away. I'm like, fuck you, Andrew. He's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, you know, he doesn't say whatever. He's not Mr. Ed, you know. That's what he's thinking. Play another song for you guys. Play a longer song. This one, it's off my fourth album, Wilson Dixon Live. This song, it's about the past, it's about the future, it's about kind of moving on. I'm sure it's going to resonate with most of you. You know, we've all experienced the past to some degree. I believe that we live in the past. Some people, you know, they think that they live in the present. You know, I live in the present, you know. I got one thing to say to those folks. You got any leftovers in the refrigerator? Yeah, case closed, asshole. So this song, it's about kind of moving on, I guess. It's called I Used to Be Nostalgic in the Good Old Days. Back in the good old days, things were easy. There were only a couple of channels on TV. Life was simple, home on the range. No one had heard of climate change. Back in the good old days, the Russians weren't rich. A spade was a spade and it dug you a ditch. Appliances only had an on-off switch. If something went wrong, you could blame it on a witch. In the good old days, there was mystery. There wasn't as much history. A hoe was something you dug in the ground. A pole dance was Polish people moving around. In the good old days, there was no penicillin. Nature sorted out the weak from the willing. Sandwiches only had one or two fillings back in the good old days. Back in the good old days, dogs would sit if you couldn't read. It didn't mean you were thick. People made fire by rubbing a stick. Mustaches weren't ironic. You could be an American with pride. Osama bin Laden was on our side. Smoking cigarettes was allowed inside back in the good old days. But now cows don't know if they're Jersey or Friesians. At the store you can choose between dozens of cheeses. You can buy pineapples in all 4 seasons. Not everyone believes in Jesus. A Scottish lady on TV sings and gets famous because she never had a chance to experience a penis. Not enough kids are getting called Enos. Things ain't what they were. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wilson Dixon! Fantastic. Thanks for coming to New Zealand. Thanks for coming to the Christmas party.